5. It's kind of crazy, but here we are. It's the OlimoLeague. It's the monthly finals. If you guys are just joining us in the cast, it is 2-2. Spawning here in the bottom left corner of Shakur's Plateau, I give you the blue Terran player, Gumiho.
Yeah, but right, as the teal Zerg, it's Solar.
All right, so Solar, that game, like that was really. Can we just be honest? That was really dicey at the end. He looked like Gumiho was gonna break him. The Smite Car was out of position. Like that was going well for a moment, but Solar kept his cool. He pulled the queens to the top of the ramp, but instead of just kind of like moving and hoping for victory, like he still played that out quite nicely. So good defense out of Solar. We've had both players hit each other with cheese, with all ins. I mean, this has been a pretty scrappy back and forth finals, but I can't help but look at this map and go like, this is gonna be abysmal for any player, for either of these guys to expand past 2 bases.
Gumiho, I think, has a better time doing it. Yeah, if you could...
He can make a planetary at the 3rd and actually have it be viable.
I guess you could do that. The thing about, like, Gumiho, I assume he's going to take the 3rd off to the side of his main, as opposed to the one on top. But like, that's actually not that bad of a holding place. It does mean that they have like a straight shot to your natural should you have the supply depots down, but you know there's chokes that you can cover easily. If you can grab some out of control, you actually have pretty good map vision. Technically, you can also take the base on the bottom. Like, I feel like if you expand that way, that'd be really cool. You don't usually see it though.
I think so. Well, this base is kind of cool. I wonder if that'll even come into effect or not. I only ever saw a small handful of games that ever did, but I want to bring up the fact that you can lift up to this high ground thing. We actually had this come into effect, and it's not in range of all the bases, only really this 3rd if you want to really put pressure on with it, but if you're unloading Marines up here, Banelings can no longer touch you. If you're putting tanks up here, only Mutalisks can snipe you off instead of Zerglings. There's certainly a lot of opportunity for Gumiho, I think, to take advantage of the map and the terrain.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I remembered when we were casting at ZVZ, but it was ZVZ, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, what are you gonna Night Storm up there? Like, please.
Please. Yeah,
actually,
do it.
You probably
obviously.
could. I think there's enough.
Yeah. I'm almost 100% sure on that one. Not that I've ever tried. But it would be really cool to see Gumiho incorporate tanks. He incorporated some for Ohana, and it was a good idea. It did cover his 3rd and natural very, very nicely. But on this map, you hold up on your 3rd, there's nice chokes, tanks would be really good, you can abuse the plateaus in Shakura's Plateau. And...
Whoa, you just blew my mind right there. Took me a second, but that... Whoa!
Yeah. That's why it's called that, I guess, I think. I don't know. Why do you scout this way first? Why do you do that?
This isn't cross spawns, there's only no horizontals, right?
Yeah, there's no horizontal, right?
Yeah, so I guess it could have been down there. And if it was, the Reaper would have been a really cool move, but yeah.
Wait, there's no horizontal.
Or, no verticals, I meant. Sorry, oops.
It's gotta be cross spawn only. There's not either one.
I want to argue otherwise, because I
actually don't know, so don't even take it in the face. Don't.
Okay.
I really feel like you can't spawn in the bottom right for Gumiho.
I actually have this vetoed for like the few handful of games I played on stream. I think I played 2 on Shakura's Plateau, and I was like, yeah, this is not happening.
No way, you're Terran. You play mech.
No, dude. No, okay. I lost 2. I think it was like, I don't know, I'm not going to hear the end of it here. A Platinum Protoss player, and at the time I was a little bit salty. They everyone told me to go back and look through the replay. It was like very obvious map hacker guy. But like, that was after I had been like, nope, F this game. Vetoed. Done. So angry.
I never considered going back and checking to see if they're map hacking. I just assume that I'm really bad.
I just usually don't care because I don't play to win. You know me, I play to have fun. And I play really stupid as a consequence a lot of the time.
But we gotta win. Oh, it is tanks. It's actually tanks and a medevac. So is it a tank drop?
I wonder, do you think that's range here to reach that mineral line? I think you could just barely do it.
Maybe just barely, but even if it doesn't, you still cover the Marines you're gonna drop up there.
Yeah, and there's also the natural, I guess, either way. Like, it's reminiscent of Deadwing, but not quite.
This is cool. I did not expect this. We talk about using tanks on the map in general. We talk about using the plateaus or the ledges or whatever, but I didn't actually expect them to do it. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Fingers are crossed. Maybe. But the lair coming up for Solar sticking on 2 bases. Again, I'm not at all shocked that he stays on 2 bases. It's like, it's Shakura's Plateau after all. It's so difficult to take a third, whether you're going here or whether you're going over here, especially against someone like Gumiho. Whether it's mobility through bio or whether it's the pressure of mech, you're not going to have a great time. So, starting to come out through the north, he is going to go for that tank drop. It looks like he will try and abuse this this spot here next to the mineral line. I mean, even if it's just a tank on the low ground with Marines on the high ground, what can shoot this tank other than a Queen, right? So this 2-base build works out a little bit better for Solar. He'll be able to get mutas out and he'll be able to shut stuff like this down.
Free Overlord here. Solar does take a third. That could also be killed. Oh, I was wondering. Oh, but he kept on talking. I was going to be like, I think he's going to go for a Nidus here. I was right.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. He does have that sick Overlord position. Yeah. He's a lot of dead space in that main, but he's got to fend off this attack first.
Yeah, but he has so many. It's important not to show too many roaches. Even
like
then,
a small handful like this is fine, I'd say. But if you start seeing 6 or 7, you're like, wait a minute, that's a lot of roaches. It's like when you see too many stalkers, you're like, that's so obviously Blink Stalker, right?
Yeah, but the thing is even if he saw like a ton of roaches, he'd just be expecting a frontal attack. I don't think you expect a Nidus.
Oh, look at Gumiho. He's putting the depot down. He's going to see this coming. Solar can no longer sneak attack with this. He could still make use of it. Oh!
Whoa!
Oh! There's no vision here! I didn't even think about this part of the base. Holy crap, Solar, what?
I don't think Gumiho thought of it either.
Okay, so Solar is supply blocked. He's taking some hits. Still, this drop could work at this third, but the Nidus goes down. Queens are coming out. These tanks, they're just popping. Not siege.
Run! Don't try and be a hero.
Oh, he's got to be careful. There is a siege tank up. Doesn't have a ton of transfuses available on these Queens. A couple, but it's starting to move towards the command center. The SCVs were evacuated already, so 10 workers lost. It's going to stay to be maybe 12, 13, but the big question is, like, do the tanks actually die? If he can hold on to that tank line, I mean, Solar can't push the natural. Gumiho could lift up his tech and move it over. Pick it up, put it over there, right?
This factory's going to die. It gets one last tank out, so...
Okay, it's risky to try and have that go like that, but... Solar getting a little bit greedy going towards that mineral or the marine line. There's a lot of damage that can't be ignored. Roaches are good, but they're not going to automatically win the game. He's got to unload these extra. He's got a lot more here as well. This tank is in a spot where he can actually start picking away the Nidus.
I love that he's repairing the deep depot so that the forces won't get into his natural.
It's a pretty big deal, I'd say. But you know, despite having 3 command centers, like Gumiho. Oh, Solar's actually going to lose his exit strategy here. He has to put another... There we go, another Nidus swarm down. Gumiho's going to have creep spread all throughout his main. Yes, he can scan it up, and maybe, but it's not going to be as simple as just re-landing your command center. So, definitely going to be a bit frustrating for him, because Solar, in the meantime, has gone back to droning. Solar's trying to get this economy going at the third, and there's nothing here to really pressure him, because all the medevacs and Marines are on the other side of the map trying to make sure he shuts down this Nidus. But realizing that's the case, the best defense is a good offense. Gumiho goes across the map.
I love that he's getting a Banshee. He also saved the factory, it looks like. Yeah, and he's producing a tank out of that as well. So the production just barely fits on the edge of his natural. That's funny. Not the biggest natural you got, but the Banshee, I think, is a great choice.
This is going to get Solar so badly off guard.
There's no stimp. So they're kind of lame.
Gets the Queen, but the Nidus form actually cover here is he leaves some roaches on the low ground. He puts some roaches on the high ground. You can, of course, get in range of that mineral line, too, with the Marines, but this is going to move out of Solar. He's going to catch them as they unload, and it's going to demolish them.
Yeah.
But still, creep spread in the main. This is going to take time to recede. Gumi is actually just going to push out and take this base instead. Much more exposed, and a lot easier for Solar to come in with an actual Roach attack. No Nidus swarm required. Roach Hydra out of Solar, by the way. This is like the last thing I really would have expected him to go for. I'm not saying it's good versus bad. It's just so uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, that one I'd usually point to that's what he does in TVT at least. But the third is it's open. If he had a decent army count, and it's not that bad, 45 to 64, it would be a good location. But all of his tanks aren't here. He still has to deal with the main. If Solar just consolidates and pushes with these Hydras, I think it's gonna be able to tear Gumiho down.
It's like the longest it's ever taken someone to take their main back. Finally, the creep tumors.
The engineering base weren't killed.
You know
I thought they were made somewhere else.
That should have been a bigger priority for Solar, though. For how long the roaches were quote unquote like AFK, like idle there. They didn't really have to do much because he couldn't move into that tank line. I assumed he would have gone for the engineering base. Having those actually alive, I mean that's actually a lot of time going towards that 1-1. And wow, I just whistled really sharp on my S. What's that? Ugh.
Oh, I didn't hear it, so I think you.
It's like Gopher from Winnie the Pooh.
You're crazy. Yeah, the big deal is that, of course, Solar doesn't have as good upgrades himself. You know, he's gonna have 1 versus 1/1, so like Gumiho actually has an advantage there. I did not expect that.
Oh, we have a Banshee wrapping around to the main. This actually was really irritating because there is Cloak on this thing. So Solar doesn't have any Spore Crawlers down. I don't believe there's an Overseer already made. This Banshee is going to get away with quite a bit of damage. But that might not matter because Solar, he very well may just say, screw it. Look at that supply difference right now. 122 over 61. Gumiho, he doesn't have tech labs to mass produce tanks from. He's got such a small tank count in the first place. The fact that Solar's going home, I actually dislike this. I kind of feel like if he pushed to win, he would push and win.
Hey, was that on purpose? Does he not realize he doesn't have stim? He's got combat shields first.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's gonna be awkward when he tries to stim.
You can't deal with Roach Hydra with stimless Marines, and oh, this is definitely a mistake out of Gumiho.
Well,
Maybe he thought he had started it.
You know, the lack of medevacs, that means that every stim he doesn't take.
Listen, trolley grub. I think the bottom line here is that supply difference is wicked.
No, he's gonna do Marauder slow too. He just doesn't know.
I don't think he knows. This is one of those rare scenarios where the most critical upgrade in the game gets forgotten.
Oh god. Even with it, I don't know if he would be able to win. So.
This tank spread actually works out pretty well. The Hydra's forced into that choke, but yeah, the Marine's dissipating. The SCV's being pulled. I think Solar's about to lock this one up. He's got to kill that last couple of tanks.
Never mind. If he only had stim, he would definitely have won.
He would have 100% taken that fight if he had stim. No question about it. Solar, he's beaten back for now, but I mean, he's remaxing pretty quickly. It's more Roaches, more Hydras. Still double the army supply. As long as he goes back into pressures, if he takes out this last tank, I mean, the reason that attack was so hard was he had to split his forces. He had to spread, but not this time.
Gumiho, you don't realize you don't have stim.
I really don't think he does. He's coming up on 2-2 now, Zombie Grub. This is...
Okay, I can't say anything because I went a full TVZ without stim for 20 minutes and I still won.
No, you can say something because this is one of the most critical mistakes you could possibly make playing Bio.
I'm just saying.
This is
Every single upgrade was taken.
This is worse than not making Marines, I would even argue, because Marauders with stim could at least take on this force.
Who forgets to make Marines? Rifkin, you're crazy.
Who forgets to make stim in a professional game? I'm just saying, like, it's...
That happens. Forgetting upgrades is so much easier than forgetting to make units.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's the same level of crazy, like, just how big of a deal.
I think you're cray-cray. I can't believe Solar's not killing him right now. Oh, Gumiho! Oh, he realized it. He was like, he tried to stim with that drop. That was the only point he realized it.
That's 3 minutes. Gumiho has to live for 3 minutes just to be able to fight properly.
He will take that challenge.
But I kind of feel like Solar's reluctance to push away, like he's looking for Vipers, he's looking for Blinding Clouds, he doesn't want to walk into tank lines, but he doesn't realize there's really just not that much, and I don't think he's realized Gumiho doesn't have stim either.
No. Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, Gumiho...
You have to imagine if he knew there was no stim, he would push. There's just no question about it. I mean...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, but he did push without stim, and he still didn't necessarily... Like, he didn't win right there, right? I mean, he might have technically won the fight as he killed a lot of SCVs, but didn't actually win, so...
Zombie Grub? I'm gonna be really pissed off if Solar loses this game, and not because I'm Zerg, and not because I'm rooting against Gumiho, but this is just one of those scenarios where you had the best possible scenario laid out for you.
I think it's gonna come. Gumiho is at a pretty good supply count.
Do you know how happy Gumiho is right now? That Solar is scared to push? Like, biding his time for stim back. His 2-2 is gonna finish before stim.
You know, the standard. 4th base gonna be taken too.
Oh my god, Solar, please.
Solar could snipe that off really easily, but of course he would have to do so undetected, so that's a little more difficult.
Solar, please.
There's a Doom drop going into the main. Solar will respond to that.
Oh my god. And that's actually going to be one of those, one of these drops where Stim's not done.
Yeah, that's going to be really quite lame. It's going to finish up in like 20 seconds though.
You might get the Hive if he wants to focus it. God, this is ridiculous. This is a scenario you just never seen in StarCraft 2. The Hive's going to go down. If it doesn't die, it would have with Stim.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Okay, Stim finishes up. He gets that snipe. No Vipers to be made, but 2 Ultralisk Caverns. I think it's because he assumed everything in the main was going to get killed. Yeah. I actually don't think that's a bad choice. You can cancel that second one. But drops down here to the south. Spinecore's trying to hold on, but oh, Zombie Grub, this is going all sorts of bad for Solar.
He made 2 Vipers, and with Fungal coming out here, you will have a very good tech-based army. His upgrades still aren't that great. They never really have been. He's coming over 2-2, but the Ultra's Cavern, obviously, they're not going to have any melee upgrades. That kind of sucks. Good thing he made the second Ultra's Cavern. It does die. Or it is dying. No, wait. Yeah, it did die.
Yeah, it did get sniped up. Wow, I don't really know what to say about this play. This is really unfortunate for Solar. You got to feel for him here.
You should have made a 3rd one. Solar, please.
He should have killed Gumiho so that none of this was problematic.
You're so salty.
I am so salty because this was such an amazingly, like, it's ridiculous. I just can't get over how ridiculous the situation. No, the thing is, it's not like the game's over. Solar could very well still win this. He's got Vipers out, a couple of Blinding Clouds, and Gumiho, he's got so many tanks, though. Look at this spread. This is ridiculous. I mean, on one hand, too, like I'm sounding like I'm really getting down on Solar here. I'm really impressed that Gumiho was able to buy enough time that he was able to scare Solar into this situation where Solar didn't attack for what was the most critical part of this game. The Blinding Clouds are going to try to go down. The Vipers get sniped off pretty quickly, and Solar's going to take out these tanks, but at the cost of a lot of his army.
A lot of the tanks are still firing. I mean, only one tank was really caught in that Blinding Cloud, and Gumiho, I think he's going to rip this army apart.
Gumiho is going to win this game. He completely demolishes Solar. 22 Hydras remaxing, 14 Roaches, but with how easily he walks away from that fight with the majority of his army alive, this is where he starts coming and killing bases. He already sniped off a hatchery or 2 already, and he's going to get a couple of more. This is
such great positioning too. Like, if he takes a fight here, obviously it's a little bit more of a choke, so the tank's gonna be really great. I don't think he'll win. Solar did remax very quickly.
I don't know. This is a scary. He can pick up and still go elsewhere. Like, that's the problem with Roach. They don't respond to drops properly. But gonna consolidate his forces instead. Still continue to fight in the middle of the map.
Yeah, exactly. So didn't exactly win that fight, but he'll just go back home. He's on 4 bases. It's not like he's running out of money. He's going on to a 5th as well. It's gonna be like kind of a split map scenario.
On Shakura's Plateau, of all places, right? Like, I have been wrong about every step of this game, and I couldn't be more pleased about it because of just how awesome and weird it's ended up. But I kind of feel, as time goes on, if Gumiho keeps shutting down like the extra hatcheries, his production is going to eventually overwhelm. And that's what we talk about so often when it is for Hydra. You just need more units a lot of the time. It's not necessarily about engagements and tanks like we've seen up to this point, but it's just being able to outmass the Hydras, being able to have more units and more stims.
His main is healthier than his natural. And his 3rd.
Yeah, that's technically true.
Benefits of Nidusing the main. He's gonna have 3-3 soon, and
oh, you know, he didn't lose the Nidus Worm. He's still got Roaches in this, by the way. Don't know if he knows this.
Nidus Worm on the plateaus in the middle of the map.
No, but I think he actually. I don't know if he knows. There are Roaches in this.
Oh, there's Roaches. Oh, I didn't hear that part. Oh, wow. How many? Can you tell how many? I don't know what the observer interface. Oh. Okay, 6.
Oh, that fungal growth from Solar is going to be a good way to start this fight. Forces in the middle. Blinding Cloud comes down on top of it, but there's just not that many Blinding Clouds that he can't. For Gumiho's sake, like, he falls back once again. This is not a bad choice. Solar's massed up that army, a huge army supply lead. But once these infestors are out of energy, once the Vipers are dry, I mean, really just a waste of supply. But a big concave for Gumiho to start this fight. Infestors being focused on the right side. Only a couple of infested Terrans come out. We don't see any more Blinding Clouds. We don't see any more fungal growths. SCVs are being pulled into the mix here. And Solar gets sandwiched in yet again.
Yeah, that was a little unnecessary, but I could see his thought process there. The upgrades really played a part. The fact that Vipers weren't there to add Blinding Clouds on top of the Fungals, that was what really made Solar's army like super good. Yeah. Fungals plus the Blinding Clouds.
Well, Gumiho's going to clean up creep as he slowly pushes the map. He is still playing this pretty standard, but can we talk about this medevac count for a moment? 12 medevacs.
That's pretty good.
I actually like this a lot because the Marauders are pretty buff as is, and they're going to be able to just... Each of them is going to have a personal healer, is what it comes down to. If the Marines die off, it's actually not that big of a deal because the Marauders should probably never die.
Vipers against a pure bio army. I mean, this is kind of why Gumiho stopped going for tanks, right? It's a conscious decision because, well, Blinding Clouds are kind of going to nullify them for the most part, but against bio, like, you Blinding Cloud them once and then you just leave.
So he's remembered the Roaches, Solar that is. It's kind of a, like you said, 6 in this Nidus Worm. But I don't know. He kind of needs everything on the defense. Every time he comes to a fight with a superior army elite, it's just never enough. Blind Cloud's coming down once again. Gumiho just stims right out of them, right on top of the Hydras, right on top of the Roaches. This army is going to completely get demolished. Meanwhile, a small counterattack was off in the top left, but it's not going to matter if Solar cannot hold it home. GG Gumiho wins the impossible game of game number 5.
Woo! No stim, no needed.
Oh my goodness.